studies about that. We need a study about anything that follows a system. Anything that follows a system, we need to have a very clear study based on the experience of masters. Let me set this right. It is still creating a problem. Okay. We did light and shade to a certain level to create 3 dimension, like the texture that we did. We'll go slightly deeper into it. Let me do it black and white first, and we'll go into color after we have understood what light and shade is. Okay. We usually start with sphere. Okay, now that's $1,000,000 question suddenly arose. I have to take my medicine. Let me take my medicine. Actually, I don't have any problem in the sense I went for this general heart checkup, cardiac checkup, and the doctor gave me so many tests, and he was very confused. Like he seemed to have a slight discomfort, but nothing seems to be wrong. And then he gave me angiogram. Even angiogram turned out to be okay, but then he asked me to take blood thinner and pressure medicine. I am doing that very religiously. Now why unnecessarily antagonize a doctor? That's my medicine. Okay, so we know how we do our it's a 2B pencil, I think. Okay. Today is the 27th. 2701 26. 26 just began, and it's almost the first month is over. Time flies. Good in a way, because we are using it, but it's also frightening. Okay, so light and shade. We know the famous artist Leonardo da Vinci. Like all of us know about Leonardo da Vinci. Lot of people during his time, before his time, after his time, of course, many of them were following what he sort of started off. They developed on that and so on and so forth. Michelangelo was a contemporary. He also had his own version of creating dimension with light and shade. Now we create dimension with light and shade. Now that's how we make a shape into a form. We know that. But somebody who wrote a thesis, this man was a person who writes. Michelangelo did not write. He said certain things which were noted down by his disciples. But this man wrote himself in very sort of coded way. He wrote in codes inverted, like a reflection. If you look into a mirror with that, then you will be able to sort of read, but to understand is very difficult. So this man wrote a thesis on light and shade. So in his language, not Venetian language, he was a Renaissance artist, and he was from Venice. So Chiaro Prema Prema Chiaro Scuro. I think my spelling is right. If somebody can please check the spelling. Yeah, thank you for that. So chiaro is scuro. Chiaro is light. Obscure. Obscure is a word we all know. Obscure is something that's not very clearly understood or not very clearly seen, in darkness. That's the basic thing. That's how the word arrives. Yeah, thank you very much. So chiaroscuro is the word that he sort of gave light and shade, and he elaborated on that. Okay, his understanding of and his way of explaining about perspective. We'll go to perspective next after these lessons. Is also amazing. Okay, so light and shade. He gave a very clear mathematical picture about, okay, this is how it works. From there, so many people have developed it into sort of a more sophisticated, more simplified, more elaborate in certain places. And I have read some. And from my understanding, I started teaching my students, and I give it as simple as possible. Okay, so chiaroscuro is the word. Just write DFA 15. That is something that we always did. We did a circle and said it's on a board. Yeah, the board is, we are looking at the board like this. That's the board. Okay, that's the board, and we are looking at the board like that. Now, that's the board, and we are looking at the board like that. So the same size seems to become smaller out there. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, we'll say the light is coming from here. Okay, it's like that, and also like this. Okay, it's coming from here, hitting here. So if the light is coming from there, hitting there, the shadow will go there, right? Will go there. Shall we extend this? We'll extend that. The circle will become big there. Okay? The light is coming from there, so that is the center, means it goes like that. Now we know, we have cross-hatching, we have hatching, we have stippling, we have squiggles, doodling, this, that, everything, to create a texture to give light and shade. Okay, light is left out, shade is worked on. Now the shadow will be here, because it's coming from there, the shadow will be here, it's like a crescent moon. Okay, so it becomes lighter, and there the light is, you can see, right? You can see, I can take a full page and draw economics, this is 170 GSM paper, and each paper would cost about 15 rupees. So let me do 4 drawings instead of doing 1 drawing per page. It's economy. Yeah? Okay, not miserliness, it is economy. Hope you agree that it's not miserliness. Okay, so now, so then it becomes lighter, and it becomes very light there, and then it becomes a white. Here, we know we know this. The shadow goes behind that too, right? The shadow goes in an elliptical shape and there will be some light out here. We know that, right? There will be some light. So this is going like that. I'm going to turn the shadow slightly down. It seems to be standing up. And I think we have spoken about light and shade earlier. We are going deeper into it, okay? I'll start with what we have already done. We have done this, right? We have done this. This one we did. And we also gave names to the shadows and the lights. Yeah, we did. Uh, there are certain things that we know. Is the notification on? If the notification is on, no, notification is not on. There are certain things that we know commonly, common sense, not like everybody knows, of course. But then everybody is thinking about that. One person talks about that. Everybody is thinking about something that concerns the society, and they are just thinking about that. And one person talks about it. And this is what I am thinking. That person who says is a philosopher. So everybody knows about this. So when we start talking about this, see, this is the fact. This is there, but this is what is there. Okay, so then we are called intellectuals. We are not craftspeople, we are artists, so we are intellectuals. Okay. So the shadow, the light is coming from there, right? The light is coming from there. We know that. The shadow extends on the opposite direction, depending upon the direction of the light and opposite, and also depending upon the surface it is falling. So we know certain things about this light. That part, let me erase that dot that I kept there. We call that the highlight, right? I'm going to write high, H-I-G-H-L-I-G-H-T. H-I-L-I-T, you can write. H-I-L-I-G-H-T, you can write. But don't write H-I-G-H-L-T. Okay? So, highlight. This is the direction of light. Huh? So let me establish, from here there is a pole and the light is here. When we do that, is it coming inside? Yes. When we do that, it's as if rays are coming out of that, and from there it is hitting here and the shadow is going in that direction. Okay? Is that understood? That is called the source of light. This, it is on the flow. Okay? I'm going to extend this a little bit so that that too comes inside. Huh? This point is called the anchor of the light. Of the light. Huh? Anchor of the light. We call that the highlight. Let me complete the light and then come to the shadow. This is known as, if this was a classroom, all of you know. Reflected light, of course, all of us know, right? All of us know, don't we? Only 7 people are here out of 9. Yeah, thank you. At least one person said, yes, I know. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Only 7 people are here. 2 people are missing. Who are the 2? Okay. Let's not worry too much about that now. We will have to talk about that sometime or the other. Maybe not today. I would suggest don't miss classes, huh? Because don't miss classes because you feel lazy or going out for a walk, like the recording will be there, I can come and see. No. Being here, your understanding is slightly better. Like just listening to there your concentration will be less. Now you're listening to a person. Okay, so, and whether you're looking at me or not, but you are listening to a person, as the words are being developed, your concentration is better. If you are listening to a recording, you can listen to the recording anytime. Your concentration is not that good. Okay, like they are not too young people for me to be forcing you, but don't take this lightly. Admitted, okay. Okay, admitted. So we know, so this is known as reflected light, right? This shadow is known as, it's on the object, right? So this is known as object shadow. This is known as cast shadow. The object is stopping the light and making a shadow fall there. So it is casting a shadow. The object is stopping the light and casting a shadow. So this is known as cast shadow. So if somebody asks you, like, what is chiaroscuro? Chiaroscuro is the Italian Roman word for light and shade. Uh, when a source is emitting light, it falls on an object and it creates a well lit area which is known as a highlight. The light varies in its intensity as it moves away into various places on the object. Okay, it becomes slightly darker when it goes opposite to the source of light. Okay, and there you get a shadow which is known as a cast shadow. There is one spot or one area which reflects the maximum light. Every place catches the light, but they reflect. Anything that we are talking about concerns us. Only because I am there, all these things happen. If I am not there, I don't care. If I am not here, I am somewhere else. Why should I be worried about what is happening here? Like if light is of no concern to me, if shadow is of no concern to me, why should I worry about? Why should I be talking about? But hum hai to kuda hai, as they say. When the religious people say, right or wrong, for every individual, God, the presence of God itself is because of His presence. So for us, the light that falls on the object is reflected towards us. The maximum reflection is known as the highlight. Gradually, the light intensity decreases to become a shadow, and there's a highest shadow. We don't call it high dark, we just call it a shadow. All this shadow is known as cast shadow. Object shadow. And the object is obscuring, object is stopping the light from falling on the surface. The light is falling everywhere else except here. The object is stopping the light. So that is cast shadow. That is cast shadow. Let me put an arrow there too, right? Right. There. This is known as reflected shadow, that is known as the highlight. Is this understood? Okay. The cast shadow is darker near the object casting the shadow, and fades away as it moves away from the object. See, why I am writing this is I gave you a clear picture of what a shadow, how a shadow behaves. If the cast shadow behaves, it is darker near the object, it becomes lighter. I have shown that. Okay? But when you record it, it has to be this clear. Uh, don't write in riddles. Explain it as clear as possible. The teacher who is going to be correcting you, who is going to be evaluating you, it's not just for that, but whenever you're going to be saying something, some people might not know. So for them, you have to give a clear explanation, elaborate. For the people who know, you have to show that you too have knowledge. So you have to be elaborate. For the teacher, he knows. He or she knows. But you have to show that you know. So you have to elaborate very clearly. Yeah? That is how things are done. Okay. Now I'm going to do something else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle or a cube, let's say. Naturally, it'll seem to be slightly bigger as it comes near us, right? Yeah, Ramachandran sir didn't come. What happened? Uh, can somebody? No, none of you will have his number, right? I don't know if I should stop and call him. Shweta irkiyama? Hello, Shweta is not there, na? He forgot to attend Sunday class also. Sunday's class. Shweta is not there. How can we possibly call him? We have to remind him. I can't stop the class and go there, you know. Okay, can't help. Okay, so we know that there is a thing called light source. We'll keep the light source here. It's going into the to another area, but can't help, or we'll keep it here. The farther we go, the more difficult it becomes. Now, I'm going to Alexa, circle that. When we do that, we automatically say that it's a light source, right? Light source. If there's anyone who doesn't understand what I'm talking about, please stop me. Okay. Or should we keep it somewhere? Let this be there. We'll keep it somewhere here so that it will be slightly easier. Okay? That is the light source. This is the anchor. Anchor. Okay? So what we do now is this object, if it is transparent, it will look like that, right? It will look like that. That will be the output. So from here, we do a line which goes like that. From here, we do a line which goes like that. Okay? And there can be a center point too. Huh? Now from here, we draw a line like that. We'll just draw that line and keep it. Huh? And from there, okay, wait. From there we cut to this point. Cut to this point. Do you see those lines? Can you see those lines, or should I draw them darker? You can see those lines. If anyone who says no, I don't see that line, I want it to be darker. No? Right, fine, huh? Okay. Meaning, Kanaga, you say it's okay.
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Okay, fine, thank you. Okay, so from the anchor,
So can you repeat again?
this one.
Yeah, the lines.
Okay, so let me start from the very beginning. Huh? I think it is slightly confusing because it's going into this. I'll erase the whole thing. And come out. This will come to this part. Being economical is good, but being miserly is, like not so good. बचत अच्छा है, लेकिन कंजूसी ठीक नहीं है. இல்லைம்மா, ஒரு சிக்கனமாக இருக்கிறது நல்லது, கஞ்சாமுட்டித்தனமாக இருக்கக்கூடாது. சரியா? ஓகே. So let me keep the light source here. Okay, let me keep the light source here. That is the light source. Okay, and we also write LS. What's wrong? Huh? And that is the anchor. Okay, I will just draw a circle around it. Anchor, but that the dot is the anchor. Okay, now I'm going to draw a cube. Maybe not a perfect cube. It will go like that. When we go to perspective, you will understand why I'm making that smaller. Okay, see, that's how it happens, right? The object is like that, the object is like that, okay, and the object is like that. Okay, now when we see from here, this is the level we are seeing from. So this seems to be smaller, right? When I bring it here, you will see it very clearly. This and this are the same size, yeah? But when I turn it around like that, that seems to be smaller. When I turn it around, that seems to be smaller. That's perspective. We'll go into perspective later. But for now, just to understand that I'm doing it purposely, okay. Now, if, okay, let me do it precisely there. If we show the other side of the box through this, the box will be seen like that. We call it a wire mesh, but still, the box will be seen like that. Understood? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is the shadow parameters, how far the shadow will go, how wide the shadow will go. That's a single source. From a point it radiates. Okay. So when it radiates, it opens up. Okay. The shadow will also become big. If there is an object here, we'll just keep the object like, okay, like that. Like what it is. Here. That is the object. Okay. So light is coming from there. Light is coming from there. It will radiate. Right? Isn't it? It will go like that. Because the light also radiates. So how it radiates from the anchor point, that's the maximum edge, right? That's the edge of the object. Okay. Now we go to that edge. We go to that edge. From here the line is going. We don't have to show that. The radiation is like that. Now that is that for that line, that's the anchor point and that's the top. The bottom is connected here to show where the light falls on the. Now the extent, we go to the light source and that corner, light source and that corner, it falls there. Okay? And from light source to this corner, if we had kept it somewhere slightly away, it would have been much better, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Now from here, we have to go to this. Okay. Now we connect this point and this point. We have to extend. This is going to be like that, right? It's going to be like an arrowhead. That is the bottom point for that. This shadow is going to fall inside the box itself, so it won't be seen. We draw that. Okay, we draw that. And we go to the light source. We go to the top. For this we drew from the bottom. For this we drew from the bottom. For this dot we drew from here. Isn't it? Let me draw. Okay, and let me draw that too. I go to that. Okay, it's slightly off. Okay, so now we know how we did that. Now we have come here. From the top we have to draw through that, right? From the top we have to draw through that. Now we connect this and we connect that. That too I could have done with a scale, but laziness. Let me sharpen my pencil. I think there is a sharpen 2B pencil. Let me take that out. Yes. Now all of them are slightly blunt. Okay, it will be dark here. It starts becoming lighter. Okay, I'm going to add one more instruction. Okay, and it starts becoming lighter as it goes away, right? One, because of the distance of the light to the shadow, the intensity of the shadow becomes less. There is atmospheric dust and atmosphere itself is there. There are walls there now, like light will fall there and get reflected. This area will catch more reflected light, ambient light as we say. The ambient light will make this look lighter. Do you see what kind of practice it takes to get this kind of a gradation? So these are the exercises which are going to give us, draw 10 different objects with 10 different lights, 2 sources of light. You know, that's all those things are going to be very, very helpful. Okay, now light is not falling here, right? So this will be dark. if you see, I'm using slightly circular motion. Huh? I don't want lines to be seen. Whenever we are showing shadow in light and shade, we use a diagonal line, right? Here I'm using horizontal or slightly diagonal line to show a now circular motion to get a clear gradation. So the character of the shadow that we are doing changes with the kind of strokes that we take. Okay, do you realize that as I'm bringing the shadow down, I am reducing the intensity of the black, the gray is becoming lighter. Why? Because of the reflected light on the cube. It will be like that. Okay? It will be like that. It will be like that. Okay? Now this is catching the light here, okay, and reflecting mostly this way. So there will be a slight shadow here. It will look lighter because there is light here. This part will look darker, and because there is shadow here, this part will look lighter. It will not be distinctly lighter. If you cover everything else and see that part alone, it will be flat. But visually it will look lighter because of the interaction to the darkness, interaction to the light. Is that clear? Yeah, okay. Okay, I see only two people responding. The rest of you are not. Okay, thank you. See, why I'm doing that. Now, there is a reason why I'm doing that. Why I'm doing that is I don't want the silent people to be silent and loose on the explanation. And you two should know. All of us should know. Okay, so diagonally I am creating a shadow which looks lighter here, which looks darker on the left side with a lighter background. The same tone looks, if you don't believe me, you cannot be in a hurry. I'll keep repeating certain phrases over and over again because those are the truths of art and design. You can't make a masterpiece. You can't make a good artwork in a hurry. You have to take your time. See that gradual gray, how beautiful it is. Okay. So now the top I'm going to erase very carefully. Let the guidelines be there. Is this understood? So every light has a name, this has a name, this has a name, and this has a character. The shadow near the object casting the shadow will be darker and it becomes lighter as it goes away. There is a reflected light, there is a, what is that known as object shadow, right? Let me get myself a brush. is smudging with the brush. Would you believe that? Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. Any questions about this? No. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the next page. Of course, we have lots of space. My heart is bleeding because I'm wasting all these spaces. If I'm given a chance, I would do some artwork here. But we have to go to the next explanation. So let me turn the page around. Honestly, this notebook is 170 GSM. I'll show you. It's 170 GSM. I don't know. The price is not written here. Strangely enough, why haven't they written the price? I paid so much money. Why didn't they write the price? No, it's not written anyway. So, 40 pages, 400, this book would be 600 rupees. Honestly. I don't know, check it out. Huh? Oh, I have to turn the page. I hope all of you were able to sort of source negative film and save your pages. It is very important. The notebook gets spoiled. If any one of you, those who were science students, would know about this, right? Our botany, zoology, record notebooks, botany, zoology. There are other record notebooks where we did drawings. The teachers would insist upon this, right? Remember. Okay, now a whole thing goes for a spin every time. Every time there is a slight touch on the camera, it goes off. Okay, I think that should be enough. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll just show what I'm going to do. I'm going to be drawing that in a smaller scale, tiny one. We call that a thumbnail, to try out what we are doing. Let me just give this page a notation. 27th, 2701, 26, DFA, DFA 15. Do you know that you people are called DFA 15E? That's because English. Here we are not at all using, at least I am not at all using anything other than English. In Hindi and Tamil words I used to explain certain things, like in a native tongue it's better. But the class is running on English, so it's known as 15E. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to do a thumbnail. Okay, I'm going to write that also. That is a word that we use, meaning this is a full page. Okay, so I want to try out my layout. My layout is how we place, how we compose our elements. We know what the elements are. Here we'll call them components. No, okay, so there is a board, there is a sphere, there is a board, the sphere on the board, there is a light source. So these are the components. Then we say, okay, so the light is crossed. So how we place them, how we are going to lay them, you know, drop them in a certain place, in a certain kind of arrangement. That's known as composition. Okay. So in principles we'll come to composition. Okay. So that we'll do later. Now I'm going to do a thumbnail. Okay. So that is, we'll call that the board. Okay. That is the board. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a board here, another board which is, this is horizontal, this board is vertical, okay? And so if this goes there, this will also go there, okay? So that will be the board, okay? And can you see? Not very clearly, yeah? I am the one who told you if you talk in between, the recording will shift to your voice. And your video will come in. My drawing won't be shown, and I asked you to stop me from working before talking. Now I'm asking a question, asking you to talk. Not fair. Okay, so this goes there and that goes there. That is known as a vanishing point. We'll talk about that later, but I'm just talking to myself. So that goes there and it's that goes there. Okay, so that is going to be a hole there on that board. Okay, do we understand what we are talking about? There is a hole, there is a board like that, there is a hole like that, and there is going to be a light somewhere here. Okay, if we keep it there, if we take the center as this, and that is the anchor, and if that is the thing, this will go here. Now remember that? So the shadow will fall there. Did you understand? Yeah, Hulda understood. Okay. Okay, almost everyone understood. Huh? Okay. Okay. Shanmugapriya, Samanvi, oh, very quiet. Tirumala is also very quiet.
Can you explain again?
Yeah, surely. Yeah. What happened? I think my